Sonoma, and I am recording an end of quarter video quarterly update for Independent Development Plan. Because I was working on a completely new project whose scope was not yet clearly defined, I began the quarter looking into background research and conducting need finding. To ramp up on background information, I read into the ARS model and looked into motivation for metacognition in learning. From this, I learned more about metacognition and how it could fit into the ARS model. The next step in defining this problem was interviewing DTR students and running a status update to help with need finding. I wanted to uncover a user's story and build design arguments and characteristics that help progress the story. In need finding and status update, I focused on how the user reflected in their normal daily life and how DTR has helped them with self-reflection. Because the self-assessment is the main structured method of self-reflection in the class, I focused on that method of self-reflection. From need finding, I learned that it is difficult for students when completing the self-assessment to put themselves back into the mindset that they were in when they encountered a situation that they could learn from. This would make the experience of self-reflection for them less information-rich because they will have gaps in their reporting. Additionally, because the self-assessment is done right before each break, this not only breaks a cycle of iteration on the learning process, but removes the opportunity for iteration altogether. Through background research and need finding, I was able to define a preliminary problem. Students need to develop self-direction skills. Metacognitive reflection helps develop these skills, but students in DTR do not have a regular or structured way to practice self-reflection throughout the quarter. From this, I argued that students needed to reflect, like in the self-assessment, but more often. This was later refined somewhat. I then began writing the URG. The process of writing the URG led me to doing further background research, refining the problem, and developing research questions. I read more into metacognition and found that it has been well studied and defined for well-structured problems like those that arise in math, but has not been well studied for the kind of problems that students face in a research setting. I also learned that the timing and frequency of these reflections has not been well studied. From this, I argue that in order for reflection to improve students' work processes, problem-solving skills, and self-direction, students must reflect regularly and it must become a habit. Research into habit building shows that habits are best developed when one repeats a behavior in response to a consistent cue or prompt, rather than based on a set time interval. I've decided to make this cue SIG meetings so that students can have a consistent cue throughout the quarter, but also because a lot of important learning information that it would be beneficial for students to reflect on comes out of SIG meetings. In the end, I have 3 research questions. How can we support self-reflection so that students can improve their work processes? When and how often should reflection be prompted? And how might metacognition contribute to development of problem-solving skills for the kinds of irregularly structured problems that come up in research learning? Finally, I created a prototype and deployed it in SIG meetings in the last week of the quarter for testing, in order to begin answering these questions. Continuing next quarter, I will conduct more testing and consolidate my findings to help me improve my prototype, as well as to help me continue answering my research questions. I will also begin looking into the best platform for this prototype. It is currently deployed on Google Sheets, which is a quick and easy platform for this prototype, but it does not have the best user experience. So I will look into a platform that can both give the user an enhanced experience and be reasonable for building a prototype.
Every day when you're walking down the street, and everybody that you meet has an original point of view, and I say, hey!